what are your favorite Christmas movies? Like, does it have to be horror related? Because this is one of the first horror comedy Christmas movies that I watched. And, our last episode, we discussed Rare Exports, A Christmas Tale, which is also going to be added to my annual list of Christmas movies. But BP, what are your favorites?
Always go to is Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. They'll be generally the two that as a family or by myself will watch, and it's like a religious thing to just watch them over and over and over and over and over. Nothing else really out of that. I guess just growing up, that's what was sort of on TV. And National Lampoon's Can't Complain Except Vacation, which was horrible. And any of the spin-offs, which are like direct to DVD, and then Home Alone. Haven't seen the first one that many times, but Lost in New York, seen it like a million times. So yeah, they'd be the two I'd be watching.
Did you know there's 6 Home Alone movies?
I can imagine. I've seen the third one somewhat funny-ish, and then after that I lost. It was like wrong turn after like number 3. I kind of lost hope.
Like, I just don't get. I watched Home Alone 4. That was one of the worst ones. There's also another one called The Holiday Heist, but what gets me with all the posters is that the first and second one, it was Macaulay Culkin doing that.
Yeah.
And then the third one was Alex D. Linz, the actor, and he's just like... And then the fourth one, the kid's off screen. He's like, like he's just like so obviously photoshopped out of place. And then the fifth one, it's this random, I don't know who the actor is, and he's like... like a YouTube thumbnail, like top 5 shocking moments or whatever.
And we survived the car crash.
Yeah. And like Macaulay Culkin, I don't know if it ever went into production or anything, but there were talks that he was going to come back and they would reboot it as just Home Alone 2021 or whatever, like with Halloween and every other horror reboot. But there were no details on what the plot was. I just assumed maybe it was his own kids that would be Home Alone, but I don't know if you could do Home Alone in this day and age because everyone has a phone, and at the same time, it'd be like
unless it's set in the 90s or like 80s or something, which is kind of weird. But anyway,
like it just, I don't know. Like, oh shit, we left the kid at home. Okay, let's call. Like, instead of skipping out on this vacation or whatever, let's get one of our other family to take him to the airport. We'll meet him at the airport. They'll have a airport person on board to make sure he's safe. Like, it'd just be so easy. Whereas, like 90s, 80s, Also, how the fuck did that family afford an international vacation and that house? I don't understand.
My favorite meme to come out of that is when it's the one about at the end of the second film when the dad yells out to Kevin about spending like $900 or whatever on room service, and there's a meme and it's just like yells about room service but leaves his kid at home 2 times in a row, so he's like, maybe you should shut the fuck up.
Is it now instead of room service it'd be like $900 in Uber Eats or Deliveroo, and that's just for like 2 meals?
Lukewarm meals. Yum.
Fun. I hate Deliveroo, but Coop, what are your favorite Christmas movies?
I generally watch Bad Santa every year.
That's
a good one. When I was younger, also Home Alone 2. Yeah, spot on. It's way better than the first one, I reckon. I actually do really like the third one as well, but I did watch that heaps when I was a kid. Real quotable, I reckon. At least I still remember saying it in primary school heaps, that you smacked my winky.
Well, maybe if you didn't have rats in your pants.
Exactly.
I loved Alice when she used to walk around with a pram, and then there's one scene where she just like shoves it into the shed.
Actually, I will say, I think Home Alone 3 is pretty underrated as a sequel. The other ones, I don't give a fuck for them. I'll never watch them. So
even the scene where he opens the door and it's like the doll's like, hit.
I have this distinct memory, Byron, of you and I in high school, and we were sitting in the library. You turned around and you, completely unprovoked, we weren't even talking about Home Alone. You just go, You know the doll from Home Alone 3 where like the brother walks in, the doll's like, hit, hit. And I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? I knew exactly what you were talking about, but I was like, we were talking about I think we were actually talking about Britney Spears probably way back. And then suddenly we're talking about Home Alone 3.
Oh god. Yeah, sounds like me.
Hey, squirrel friend. When one video ends, just open up another one. It's called binge viewing. Alright, I support you.